we are ready for adventure. Survival, bushcraft. Pretty big buzzwords nowadays, but 10 years ago when I was teaching wilderness survival, bushcraft, or that term, was relatively unknown, but now I'm starting to just see it everywhere. My background in knives really started with my interest in bushcraft and primitive survival. I taught survival instruction at a nature preserve for a few years, and as many of you know, I competed on Discovery Channel's Naked and Afraid for 3 seasons. So when Schrade hit me up and wanted to do a partnership video, I thought that it would be a really fun idea to focus on their survival and bushcraft models. My goal for this video was to focus on models that are budget friendly, so under $50, and models that would be especially useful in a survival type situation. Okay, and we're gonna start off big with the Schrade decimate parang. Now the parang is a machete style that originates from what is now modern day East Malaysia. So chopping, wood clearing, very important in that region where they have this dense, heavy jungle. This is made with a CR13 blade steel, which is a good beater budget blade steel. You'll notice this thing has a big handle. I mean, I can almost put 2 hands on this. I have medium female hands. And one thing that it has that's not typical of parangs is this guard right here, up here and here. So that's gonna help prevent your hand from sliding up onto the blade if you are piercing. Big old curve on this belly, great for chopping, which is exactly what this thing is made to do. This is my favorite, honestly, out of the selection, which is why I wanted to feature first. A cool modernized parang for only 23 bucks if you use the code. So yeah, I'll link that below. Next up, we have a great little budget blade. This is the Schrade adder. Now the adder is only $17 with code Backwoods20. It has a really functional drop point blade shape. We have kind of like a nice little hollow grind out here, so it's gonna get super slicey. We have a thumb ramp with jimping that actually feels nice and grippy. AUS 10 blade steel, kind of comparable to VG10. This handle is so comfortable if you have smaller or medium hands. One of my complaints is how this sharpening grind goes into the plunge grind. Wish they would have added a little choil, but other than that, what a fantastic little budget blade. I love how lightweight this knife is. I love the texturing on the handle, and I like how easy it is to remove these scales for cleaning. Great little backup knife for 17 bucks, the adder. Next up, for 35 bucks with code Backwoods20, we have the Pay Dirt foldable survival shovel. Twist this right here, now it's locked into place, and this shovel also has the ability to adjust the length of the handle. You have 5 different holes right there, and then just push that down at the length that you want it. So why a survival shovel? Well, aside from the obvious, like using it to dig poop holes, you can use it to build a little trench around a tent on a rainy day. It helps siphon the water. In fact, when I was doing a survival challenge in Africa, we actually used this to bury coals that we would sleep on top of to help keep us warm throughout the night. Yeah, Schrade, Pay Dirt, collapsible shovel. Cool thing to keep in your vehicle. Might come in handy more often than you think. Okay, I know I said I'd stay under $50. This one is $52 with code Backwoods20, but it is important to include a hatchet, and this is the Bedrock hatchet. I would not recommend wearing this sheath on the belt because there's something about this snap that just doesn't stay secure. Other than that, I do like the general profile of the hatchet. I like how it's got this big butt right here that you can use to pound in tent stakes. The handle is really comfortable. You have a nice little swell at the edge, which is going to help it stay on your hand and not slide off. It is 3 CR13 MOV blade steel. And it's a really attractive hatchet. I'm not really a hatchet expert, not gonna lie, but this is an option in the budget realm if you are eyeballing a little camp hatchet. But something I do have a lot of knowledge about is a good survival knife. So what is a survival knife? In my opinion, a survival knife is one, something that can perform basic camping tasks, shelter building, chopping, but also something that can be used to defend yourself and, I don't know, like a grizzly bear attack. This is literally called the Extreme Survival Knife, and it is $44 with code Backwoods20. It is that AUS 10 blade steel. It has this swedge right here, which means it is a good piercer, but then we have this nice, generous finger guard, so when we're piercing, our finger is not going to slide up onto the blade. We have an area right here for potentially striking a ferro rod, and kind of a subtle little thumb ramp right here. Comfortable sheath that is textured, bashing pommel, lanyard hole. This thing is just loaded with all of these survival knife features. It also gets down to a nice hollow grind, which means you're going to be able to use this finger choil to choke up there, do some carving. Yeah, kind of a cool budget option for a survival knife. One thing that definitely could be improved though is right here, the edge is kind of like a little hot spot when your finger's resting on that, which they smoothed that out. But it's 44 bucks. And meeting in the middle between these two knives is the Schrade Exertion. Just a great, no frills, bushcraft type design. Features a drop point, we have a hollow grind, we have a very comfortable handle here. I like the thinness of the handle compared to the width of the blade. Nice little palm swell. You have some machining right here so you can get your index finger up there. Got jimping right here, which is actually feeling pretty nice and grippy. Good old 90-degree spine, good for striking ferro rods. Not a fan of this sharpening choil right here. And the sheath comes with two surprises. We got a little emergency pull-through sharpener and a ferro rod that is built into the side of the sheath. I also like the size of the paracord hole or lanyard hole right here. Yeah, just like I said, a nice, straightforward, budget bushcraft design. There you have it. This, along with everything else, and you, my friend, are now ready to conquer the apocalypse. But seriously, like all of this that I'm wearing right now with that coat is like around $200. Pretty awesome that Schrade's thrown out so many budget options. And so yeah, let me know if you guys thought this was a fun video, if there are any other videos like this you'd like to see, and let me know which item you thought was, I don't know, the coolest. Okay, appreciate you guys. Have a great week. Thank you so much as always. Bye-bye. If you like things that are sharp and pointy, then maybe you should subscribe to my channel.